Okay, so what happens if you get everything designed and you go to do a couple of versions of your piece and you turn it around and oh my gosh, your label is all distorted and destroyed on the back. Well, this is an issue that is, I guess, unique to the full wrap label, as well as anything that is on an angle. So for instance, if you were designing the label to go up on this angle. And what we need to do is actually go back a few steps to the original. So I'm actually going to close this, and I'm just going to create a new one and show you. I don't need to save it. So if I bring in that file, so it was the FBX file. Let's see what I can find. It was the food glass jar 1. Drop it in. Import. Oh, I can actually set it here. Make sure I double click on the area that I want to add a label to. So notice again it's darker blue on this part. What I have is not the lid selected, so just the jar. If I go up to File, Export, and Export Selected Object UVs. So the selected object is the jar, and it's going to export the UVs. It's up to you whatever resolution you want it. I just use whatever resolution it's set at, and I go to Export. It's going to start packaging those UV scripts, I guess, and depending on where it went, which I did not pay attention to, let's see. Let's try it again. Export selected object UVs. Where did I put it? Oh, I put it on the desktop. Great. Okay. So that is on the desktop. If I go to desktop, it's called Body Mesh. Again, the reason it's called Body Mesh is these are made up. It's a program, right? This is just a bunch of computer maths, and it's a mesh that is this making up this piece. So it exports it as a PSD. So this is where you get to use all of your knowledge of using Photoshop and Illustrator together with Stager. So I'm going to open this up, and as you can see here, there's a whole bunch of things going on, and believe it or not, the export actually comes labeled, which is so awesome. You don't need this or the texture grid. You have an outline here, the non-editable, you have the kind of space created, non-editable area. Here are the outlines. I immediately like to check off the outlines because we do not want to export a line. And here for this jar, I can easily tell that these two circles are the top and bottom of the jar. This is sort of the bottom angle. These two, I think, are parts of the lip. And then I was sort of unsure of which one of these would be the actual surface. I think this is your interior surface and this is your exterior. And so down here is actually where we're going to drop our design. Whoops. So what I'll have to do is I'll go to my Finder and get my AI file. So let's see, Chili Crisp, and I've got this one, Test AI. I've got Chili Crisp label. I'm going to choose this one. Well, maybe I'll do this one. I had one other one with the ginger, but so I'm going to drag and drop it in. And okay. And here we go. This is where you're going to place. You're going to have it fit into this space. Now I made this a little big, so perhaps your label is no longer the right size. You may have to go back and edit it with the proper dimensions, or you can just make it a little smaller and it won't be as tall as the can. Either that or it'll get a little bit clipped. So let's see, I'm going to just do this. So you may have to do some adjusting to your label, unfortunately. But it is a smart object, so you can just click in there and edit the thing from there. Okay, so once I have that placed in the right spot, all of these UV guides are going to stick around, but we're going to hide them. We don't actually want to export them, and we don't want to see the white background. We just want this label to get exported. And then in order to keep that transparency in the background, you're going to go to Export and Export as PNG. So I would label this Chili label UV and save to wherever you're saving. So I'm going to just save it to my desktop for now. When I go to the stager, now when I bring the chili label uv.png and drop it in, oh, you'll see it starts off the same as it did when it was just a graphic from AI. But if we go to the placement and change decal to fill, it fills the space. And now when we rotate around, the wrap does not get distorted. However, you'll notice it did import the label upside down, so I may have to go back to this, open my Photoshop file, and rotate this. Let's see, transform, and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. There we go. So now if I save or export this, quick export as a PNG, chili crisp underscore UV, save. I'll go to stager, bring this down a little, bring in chili crisp UV, drop it on here. Looks like it went all the way to the bottom, but that's not a big deal because we're going to go to placement and choose fill. And there we have it, looking good. I can move the label around still. I can bring it up a little bit. And because this, essentially, look, if you notice, if I change the decal, or I move the decal, it never leaves this panel. Well, it kind of does if I do that, but it is set to the panel size that was created by the UV document. So, and like I said, now I can scroll around the whole thing and it wraps without distortion. Hopefully that helps, and yeah, we'll talk about it more on Thursday.